What is up, boys? It is Desert Dime, and we have the truck back from the shop. Now, if you guys have been following the channel for a while, you will know that a couple months ago, I had gotten hit out at King of Hammers, and the whole front end, the whole front right corner got crumpled, so I had to send the truck off, and it's been gone for like 2 months, getting its version 3, version 2.5. I don't even know what version we're on at this point, but it was kind of a bummer because I just got the truck to a point where I was ready to stop and say, okay, I'm gonna sit on it for a while, save up some money, and then go into the next version. But as soon as I had it finished, that same trip, bam, she got hit. So sped things up a little bit. We got the version 2.5, 3.0, whatever you want to call it at this point. She's back, and we're gonna go over a complete build breakdown of the truck because a lot of things have been added since the last time I filmed a build breakdown for you guys. But hey guys, before we start this video, I want to let you guys know that by the time this video is live, my merchandise website, Shop Desert Dime, is live now. I will put the link down in the bio, so if you guys want to support the channel, go ahead and check out the merch. I'm wearing one of my shirts right now. This is the Desert Dime shirt. And Gion's wearing the other shirt right now. Maybe I'll come grab the camera and flip it around for you. So, ooh, yeah, turn around. Ooh, shit. But yeah, it would mean a lot if you guys went ahead, checked out the website, bought some stickers, bought a shirt or something to help support the channel so I can keep bringing you guys great content like this. Thank you guys so much. Now let's get back to the build breakdown. Alrighty, so we're gonna go ahead and start with the front end because I feel like as far as suspension wise, it's a lot more simple than the rear. The rear is gonna be a little more in-depth and complicated, but let's start with the front here. First and foremost, a lot of people have been asking me about this since the truck's been back, since we've been posting on social media, showing off the front bumper. Everybody is loving the front bumper. This is a custom-made pre-runner style tube front bumper. I talked to the fabricator. I just sent him a bunch of different bumpers and said, I want this from this bumper, this from this bumper, this from this bumper. So I just kind of gave him key features that I wanted in a front bumper and then let him run with it. So one of the key features, if you want to come around to the side right here and look, is I wanted a bash bar, especially after getting backed into, which led to this whole project. I'm like, okay, I want a little extra protection before you get to the main tube. So I wanted this bash bar. And if you guys know second gen Tacoma angles and measurements, I guess, when you try to put a pre-runner style front bumper on this truck, it comes up so high that the skid plate is like a snow plow. It is like steep. So the fabricator had the great idea of like, hey dude, if you're already doing the push bar, why don't we make the skid plate come out to the push bar instead of the main tube, and that'll kind of help offset some of that aggressive angle. So that's how we came up with that idea. I wanted a two-piece to also help sort of break up that just one straight steep angle. It's not that noticeable or super aggressive of a two-piece, but it still helps with the angle a bit. I wanted a tapered skid plate, so kind of wider and tapered down as you get to the bottom section. I think it came out great there. I also wanted it to be tabbed up for 4 lights up front. Initially, I was aiming for LP6s, but the fabricator said the width of 4 LP6s is going to start to hang over where the corner and where the push bar goes, so it's just going to look kind of goofy. So we ended up tabbing it for something a little bit smaller, maybe an LP4 or an XL80. We'll see. The lights are going to be coming later. I'm not in a big rush for that. I just wanted it tabbed up for it so the bumper could be ready whenever I'm ready to put the lights on. I guess just two more little design notes is these corner supports here. I wanted it to sort of match that the C4 bumper, you know, that company C4. They mainly make like trail stuff, hybrid stuff, but they have this sort of like scooped corner support here that I really like on their bumpers. So I wanted that sort of integrated. A lot of guys, if you're going like full pre-runner race truck, they'll weld in the front bumper to the frame around here. That's the one thing I didn't want. I didn't want this bumper to be completely fixed to the truck because we'll get into it later, but it's a mid-travel 2-inch wide glass build. So if I do want to go long travel in the future, do 4-inch glass or something different than what I have now, I'm going to want to take this bumper off and sell it with the glass because it's only built out for the 2 inches. So this bumper can completely come off. It's disconnectable. It's able to be removed. Yeah, so that's all the talking points about this bumper. Moving on to the headlights. The passenger side headlight got completely smoked in the accident, completely damaged, so we had to get new headlights. I saw it as a nice opportunity to finally pull the trigger on upgrading to some LEDs. Everybody knows Alpharex, everybody loves Alpharex, but I wasn't willing to pay the top of the line Alpharex price for headlights that are just gonna get smoked in the desert by sand and rocks and stuff. The top of the line, I think, are like $1,100. I think that's absolutely outrageous for some headlights that are going to get demolished in the desert. So I went mid-tier, their lowest priced LED they had, which was, I don't know, like $600 or something. But I think they look amazing. It's blacked out. We got the LEDs. We have daytime running lights that I could switch from white or amber, whatever I choose. And I think they're going to be a great addition overall. But I talked to my buddy who I got the stock fenders from when I was in that transition period, Nate, and he has these headlights. And he said, dude, they work so good for like nighttime off-roading because they're LED versus the halogen. I think that's what we run, halogen. So yeah, I'm stoked to test these out at nighttime, get a little bit extra light at night. Anyways, they look great. It was more of a cosmetic thing, obviously, but moving on to the fiberglass. What we have here is McNeil 2-inch fiberglass, and the reason I went with McNeil is because they are the only company that makes 2-inch fiberglass. I'm sure I could have reached out to some other company and got like custom glass made, but it sounded like such a headache. I love the way these look, and they're already in production. 2 inches wider. They kind of give a OEM Plus vibe because they kind of implement like a stock fender flare look to it. It's all one piece still, but it just kind of has that bulge to it. The thing I've talked about before with these is like, it's kind of hard to notice. Once it's color matched, it's harder to notice that it is glass and that it's 2 inches wider. But once you look right here in the top corner, you see just this bulge in the top corner, and that's what really gives it away. It's a very subtle, clean, nice, aggressive look is how I'm going to describe it. While we're still up top, before we dive down low, what we have up top are some Baja Design Squadron Sports. I just had a coupon for some off-road company or a gift card for some off-road company. So I had no lights at the time, and I thought, you know what, let's just spend it on these. I don't know what the plan is with these, honestly. Once I get the front four, I might keep them up here. I might take them and put them down here in the bottom corner. I might just sell them completely and run the four up front. Who knows? I don't know what the plan is, but hopefully I don't need to use these as much anymore once I have the front four. It might just come down to a height thing. Those might be too low. I might still need these. Who knows? So yeah, Baja Design Squadron Sports with a clear driver combo lens. I have the amber covers I can pop on if I need amber, and they're on the Cali raised ditch light mounts. So now we'll dive into what you guys are actually here for. No more cosmetic stuff. Let's get down and dirty. All right, so like I said, the front end is a lot more simple than the rear, so this will be pretty easy to go over. But what we have for the upper control arm is the Camber Kinetic Series, a billet-heimed upper control arm. This is the version 1. I got this like the week they came out with them, way back in, I don't even know what year, like 2017, I think. Anthony West was able to hook it up because he worked with Camber at the time. So that's what we have up there. Love them. They look great. They look really unique, or at least they did for the time. I think a lot of companies have come out with very similar upper control arms now, but that's what we've been running the whole time. For the coil over here, we have a King 2.5 OEM replacement extended travel. The thing I'm still trying to figure out, maybe you guys can help me in the comments here, is I don't know what the measurements of an extended travel OEM replacement coilover are. I've heard it's a 2.5 by 8. I haven't really verified that yet though, but yeah. OEM replacement extended travel King coilover with a remote reservoir, no adjusters yet. I bought these way back when I built the truck like 7 years ago. Didn't have the budget for it, so maybe next time around on the rebuild, I'll either get rid of the shocks completely, sell them and get 3.0s with adjusters and reservoirs and stuff, or maybe I'll just see if they can add adjusters to these existing ones. I don't know. We changed a lot of weight up front, so these coilovers are gonna need work and some tuning once it's time to get them rebuilt. Helping with the lift here, MaxTrack 4-inch lift spindles. Not sure if I'm gonna need them anymore now that I have the high clearance bumper. I haven't gotten out to test the truck yet, so we're gonna need to do some testing before we can get it dialed again with the new setup. But yeah, really needed these MaxTrack spindles back when I had the stock front bumper and the stock fenders to get that extra lift, extra ground clearance. And I'm just in love with them so far, so hopefully they get to stick around longer. These MaxTrack spindles come with extended brake lines, obviously, because you're drooping out a bit more. Also, two more miscellaneous things sort of tucked away up front here is we have the Total Chaos cam tab gussets up here with the 333 FAP lockout tabs. And tucked back there, you can't really see, but we replaced the stock bumps with a Duro bump stop. It's just a direct bolt-in replacement, but somehow I still managed to find a way to mess that up and completely snapped a bolt inside of the housing. that the first part of that video is on the channel. I never edited or published the second part of the video of me actually stripping the bolt out because it was just so frustrating. But I think that's it in the wheel well right now. But so for the wheels and tires, we have a Toyo Open Country RT Trail. That trail is very important because Toyo also makes a Toyo Open Country RT. This is the RT Trail. Love them so much. I was running KO2s before this. I thought I was in love with KO2s until I put these on, and dude, these blow KO2s out of the water for the same exact price, if not $5 cheaper per tire. So definitely never going back to KO2s after driving these. Might keep these next time I need tires, or I might switch to a KM3 and try those because they look amazing, but I've heard some iffy things about those. We'll see. Anyways, 285, 75, 16. Obviously the wheel's a 16-inch method double standard. I forget the number, 304 or something, but it's just it was the wheel back in the day when I built this. It might be time to upgrade this whole setup, especially now that we have these. We'll go over future plans at the end of this video, but that's what we're running up front. I forget about them all the time because they're stuffed in there, but R1 Concepts drilled and slotted rotors with their off-road brake pads. Not much to talk about there. Their company kind of pissed me off, not gonna lie, but it might have just ruined any future work I could possibly do with them, who knows. So like I said, the front build is super simple, and the reason for that is because this setup just works, dude. This setup works. Like, it's almost surprising how little money you can put into suspension for the front end of a Tacoma and have it work good for that price. But I can't say the same about the rear end. The rear end of Tacomas are very tricky because the geometry is dog shit. The weight, there's just none in the back because it's a composite bed, not a metal bed. And it's just a mid-sized truck. So it takes a lot of work to get the rear end to perform and keep up with the front end. Even now, I want to say the front end still probably outruns the little just by a smidge. So let's dive into what it takes to get the rear end to actually perform. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll see that we just did a giveaway with Archive Garage for one of their shock relocation kits, and I think that is the key component to the rear end of a Tacoma. What you need to do is you need to move that mounting point way up. And that's kind of where like bed cages come in for long travel builds. But if you're not willing to cut through the bed of your truck and you want to keep it sort of like a sleeper, daily driver, concealed build, that's where a shock relocation tower comes in. Now, Archive Garage makes this shock relocation tower that goes all the way up to the bottom of the wheel well. This kit will allow you to put a 2.5 by 12 or 14-inch shock in the back, or certain configuration bypasses. It just depends on how you do the tube layout, so it actually fits inside the tower and doesn't have the wheel smack in the tubes. What I have in here right now is a 2.5 by 12-inch smooth body by King, tuned by AccuTune. It has the remote reservoir, it has the adjusters. Absolutely love the adjusters, game changer. I'm kind of kicking myself in the ass for not just like doing it right the first time and doing like a 14-inch shock with a spring under, or maybe even a bypass. I went with like the most simple setup you can do with this Archive shock relocation tower, but that should just go to show you that even with the most simple setup, it eats. It eats better than an OEM replacement does in the rear. So keep that in mind. Bare minimum, it's actually putting in work. So imagine if you did the spring under with a larger shock or a bypass, you'd be cooking for a sleeper setup. I don't know how you want to try to work your way in there, but the leaf springs. For the leaf springs, we have the Devers. I was running the J66, but they were just way too soft and flattened out way too easily. I was just smashing my rear end up all the time. The leaves were hitting the frame. It was ugly, but now we've switched to the Dever U402 Stage 1s, which are rated for 0 to 200 pounds. Now, in the process of getting these, I was talking to a lot of people in the industry, asking their opinion on it, and they said, don't run these leaf springs if you don't have 100 to 200 pounds of added weight in the rear because they're going to be too stiff. And that's kind of the problem I'm running into now. Before I redid the whole truck, looks-wise, it was almost enough weight. I just needed to add like one more thing and I was good. But now that we've shaved a lot of weight, which we'll talk about in the end, they are a little bit on the stiffer side. But again, I haven't got out to test them yet, so we'll have to go do that. We're also running more stuff from Archive Garage, like these hammer hangers, which come with new shackles if you opt for that option. You could still use the shock ones, but I wanted to just get new ones while we were at it. But we have the hammer hangers, which allow me to get the full use out of the shock. Before I had these hammer hangers, the limiting point on down travel was the stock hangers. They would stop before the shock got all the way down. So now that I have these, the shocks are able to droop all the way out, which led me to having to put in These, ooh, dude, these are getting smoked by something. Dang, what happened? Oh, you know what it was? It's when we were cutting down the U-bolts for this. Okay, anyways, we have it strapped with 13-inch Mackenzie limit straps in the rear, so we're not just completely yanking at the shock every time we droop out. And those char marks that you see on the strap are from cutting down the bolts on the Archive Garage U-bolt flip kit bump stop. Like I was sort of alluding to before, the up travel was still sort of a problem. Like it would come all the way up with the stock rubber bump, and that would just not stop it as fast or as soon as we needed it to. So Archive Garage sent out their rubber bump stop. This is the option 3 U-bolt flip kit from them with their bump stop. So I haven't had a chance to test this out yet either, but I'm super stoked to. Once you get all this work done, you have to do extended brake lines in the rear. Got those from AccuTune. They have extended brake lines for us. I don't know I think they're actually, I do know, they're plus 4 inches longer. Well, damn, we can't forget about the bed sides. McNeil 2-inch, I mean, all 4 corners are the McNeil 2-inch, but same feel. They have like that OEM Plus kind of look. They have the fake fender flares right here. They even have like the stock bedside topper, if you know what I'm talking about. So I'm thinking of like getting this, is it just super bright? But yeah, I think it's just a super cool look for somebody who wanted to keep sort of the stock look, like a sleeper OEM Plus kind of build. It's great to have that option out there for people like me who want to do that. What else do we got out here? Let's wrap around to the backside. The rear bumper we have right here is the plated rear bumper from Dirt King for the Tacomas. Super, super lightweight. It's only 35 pounds. It has the license plate lights, which are not wired up right now, unfortunately. We've got to get that done. Something to note here, if you're looking to do a setup sort of like this, when you order the McNeil fiberglass, you can ask them to have it wrap around and go under the taillight right here. The reason they cut it right here in their normal molds is so you can still run a stock bumper with it. I'm not running a stock bumper anymore, and I didn't know that you could get that option of it wrapping around. So that would have eliminated this 3D printed cap right here that Dirt King gives you with the bumper. I would have so much more preferred to have the glass wrap around right here and fill in this gap, but I mean, it's not a bad option right here. What else do we have under here? We got the hammer hangers, U-bolt flip kit, leaf springs, brake lines, shocks. Oh, there's a high clearance cross tube. It's so high clearance that you, I forget about it all the time, dude. But if you get down under here, you'll see it right here, grabbing onto it. You have to take out the stock spare tire, drop that down, and put in this high clearance cross tube, which ties to both hammer hangers from Archive Garage, which stiffens up the rear end's body roll like a decent amount. Not enough to where like it feels rock hard, but like it's super noticeable once you get it on. Like just the corners around town, my whole body's not just like leaning in every corner now. The back end feels a lot more stiff and tied down or tied together, so it's got like a little bit of give but not a whole lot, and the front end still has more than the rear. So I'm super stoked to see how that plays all together out in the desert to see if it really improves it. Well, I guess since we're talking about dropping that spare tire out, like I was mentioning before, we lost a lot of weight in this whole cosmetic rebuild here. Dropped the bed sides, which I don't know how much those weigh, but they were decently heavy, and those are replaced with fiberglass now. We dropped the spare tire out, which was 75 pounds, to put that high clearance cross tube, which is only like 15 to 35 pounds, so super light, lost a lot of weight there. I had the stock full metal bumper with a tow hitch receiver, which was heavier than shit. That has to be like 80 pounds maybe, and replace it with a 35-pound bumper. So we lost a bunch of weight in the rear, and the truck is not super happy about that right now. So I'm in talks with one of the channel's new sponsors, SHP, Slaughterhouse Performance. I'm in talks with him about getting a custom-made bed cage, almost like the 454 Motorsports bed cage, where you can do the standing spares, but I want it custom fabricated because I want it to utilize the factory bed bolt holes, so I don't have to smoke any more holes through the bed to get that to go in. So I'm talking to him about making a dual standing spare cage with jack mount somewhere and maybe have a gas canister. We haven't really designed it yet, but I'm hoping that whole cage will add a lot more weight to the rear, as well as putting 2 standing spares in it and a jack. That should bring back all of the weight that I lost in this rebuild. Well, while we're here staring straight at it, we have a full-size spare here held down by the Desert Dime collabed Alpine spare tire straps here, which I did a very limited run, I think 20 of these straps for the first batch, and I absolutely love it. I had an Alpine strap before, just hated the brand that was on it. Not Alpine's brand, but some other company that got custom straps. I bought theirs. Hate the company, so I decided I need a new strap. Why not just make my own? So we made Desert Dime spare tire straps, sold out all 20. I warned people that they were going to be limited. People slept on them, and now I have a bunch of people hitting me up in the DMs saying make more. So I think we have a second batch coming out very, very soon. It's probably not going to be the same design. I'm probably going to go with a new design. But yeah, we're looking to drop a second batch and possibly even singles for standing up spares. People that do have cages and standing spares. We'll have a single strap and a Y strap coming out this time. So keep an eye on the website because they're going to be going on there. Third brake light right here. So this third brake light is a prototype third brake light from Rover Labs. This is a prototype light from them. I don't think it's on their website. I don't think they have it in production right now. I'm not sure if he just gave up on the product and isn't gonna be releasing it, or if it's coming down the road and we're still doing more testing. I'm not sure what his plan is with this, but I have a lot of people ask about it. I absolutely love it. I have a full video on it, so I don't want to get too in depth. If you want to know more about it, go ahead and check out that video. But 3D printed, it uses 3 Baja Design rock lights. You do not have to drill into the cab like you do with other third brake lights on the market for our trucks. It just uses a backing plate that moves the bolting locations from here into the middle, and it's all completely removable, no holes smoked in it. It's super, super cool. I just have a button inside, turns on the 2 ambers, the red middle brake light, super sweet. He's made an updated version that runs an S2 in the middle, an amber S2 in the middle, and 2 red brake lights on the outsides, which I haven't put on yet. He hit me up about it, but I said I want to test this one a little bit more before I go ahead and switch over to that one. So I really love that third brake light. It's like one of my favorite things going on with this truck right now. I think that's everything as far as the 4 wheel wells, 4 corners goes. But if we get under the truck, which I'm not going to make Gian climb under to show you guys, but underneath the truck, we went to Drive Shaft Pros, had them make a custom drive shaft. They added a slip yoke to it because once you start switching the geometry and how much it could droop and compress with the shocks, it starts to mess with the center bearing and how it all compresses if there's no slip yoke in there. So I bent the shit out of my center bearing like hangers and smoked my center bearing. So the slip yoke had to be put in. If you are going to be running this kit, just keep that in mind. You are going to need to add a slip yoke if your truck doesn't come with it already. That is some like debate I had with people at the time of getting it done. Some people are like, no, the truck already has it, And I'm like, dude, I'm under my truck. I swear on my life, there's no slip yoke there. I think if you got a 4-wheel drive model or the off-road model, it came with a slip yoke, but I have the sport 2-wheel drive, so it was just a solid. It was just a solid drive shaft. There was no slip yoke in it, so I bent the shit out of my stuff with that. But we have the slip yoke in now. I feel like that helped with the compression too. I think I was like cracking my spine every time I hit something too hard in the desert with the solid one because there was no give on that drive shaft, so it was just sending energy all the way up the drive line, which was terrible, but we're good now. And also under there for an exhaust, we have, you can kind of see through the wheel well right here, we have a Black Widow Widowmaker muffler welded in with a turn down pipe dumping before the axle. I've had this set up again for 7 years, right when I first got the truck. I don't know if I'm going to switch it. It's just kind of hard to make Toyota V6 sound good, and I think this is the best option that's out there right now, unless you go like super in-depth, maybe complete custom setup, which I'm just not looking to do, honestly. It sounds good the way it is now. I don't want to do that much work just to make it sound that much bit better, unless there's like a proven method and I don't have to do all the research to figure it out. You like that? Stretching. Yeah, dude, I think that's everything for the outside. 2 small things done on the inside, which you can look at. Another piece from Rover Labs is this dome light conversion right here, which converts from the stock dingy dim yellow one to a Baja Design rock light that still has all the functionality of the normal one. I have all the switch positions still on, off, door. It's super nice, dude. It is so damn bright in here now. When I open the door at night, I absolutely love it. And then obviously the one that pisses some people off the most, but the 805 tap shift handle. This was just a stupid project. Like, I just wanted to give some personality to the truck back in the day because it was all stock body, stock interior. It just looked like another OEM replacement truck, and it was. So I was like, I need to add a little pizzazz to it. So I did a little garage customization here and bought a shift handle, or bought a tap handle from the brewery, had to bore out, fill it in with some epoxy, drill it out, and just screw it on. So rocking the 805 tap handle right now. I don't know why this pisses people off a lot. Everybody, like, I was doing so much research seeing if people had done it before I did it, and everybody's like, don't do it. That's just a good way to get pulled over and get in trouble with cops. And I'm like, dude, as long as you're not fucking drunk when you get pulled over, you're fine. Like, you're not gonna get in trouble for having a beer accessory in your vehicle. That's just ridiculous. Just don't be drunk when you get pulled over. Well, good thing I have this list right now, because there are two things that I forgot. One, you just can't see. There's no way of seeing it, but my buddy Nick Marr at Martech Engineering up in Nevada, he makes a poly motor mount for the second gen Tacomas, which is like a hybrid between a stock motor mount and a solid motor mount. It's like that sweet spot right in the middle. You know, it's a little bit stiffer for the off-road abuse you're gonna put it through that the stock ones will just give out over time with. And it's not as aggressive and stiff as a solid motor mount. So that's tucked up in there. I absolutely love them. I didn't notice all that much change, if any, in like the vibrations at idle. Like, it's not sending that much through the cab, but they're definitely a lot more solid. So if you guys are interested in those. And the last thing, in the rear. So to give these shocks enough clearance from the tires when flexing and stuff, you have to run a spacer depending on your wheel specs. With my wheel specs, I had to run a 1.25 inch wheel spacer to push them out just a little bit, so when they flex, they're not just completely smoking the shock shaft right there. So I am running spacers in the rear. I was running spacers in the front to match the width front and rear, but once I put in those spindles, those pushed it out 3/4 of an inch. So I took the spacers out, and that's where we're at right now. So that's pretty much everything I've done to the truck so far. The only other things, I removed the front sway bar, helped tremendously. I'd highly recommend it if you haven't done it already. But other than that, that is everything that's been done to the truck up to this point. Yeah, I think a lot of things have been added since the last walk around we did, especially in the rear, because I just went crazy with the archive products and obviously all the body modifications. But I want to leave you guys with a couple different takeaways, one of which being almost every single modification done to this truck, there's got to be a YouTube video on my channel for it. I mean, I record everything with the truck. It's an off-road channel, it's a truck channel, it's got to be recorded. So if you want to know about anything more in depth on the truck, I'm going to try my best to link every single video that is related to this build down in the description. So if you guys want to see a particular part or a certain series on it, look in the description. There's going to be the videos down there. Two, I have a lot of people constantly hit me up for shop recommendations to get fab work, get stuff installed, blah, blah, blah. Like I said, a sponsor of the channel is now Slaughterhouse Performance, SHP, over in Anaheim. Riley is a fantastic guy, hands down the lowest rates I've seen in a while from any shop. So if you guys are looking for good prices, great work, head over to SHP. I'll try to tag them below too, tag their Instagram. And as you heard me say a bunch of times in the video, a lot of stuff has changed with the weight distribution on this whole vehicle and a lot of new products. So super stoked to get out in the desert, test it all, see how everything works together, and see how we can go ahead and improve the truck more. Probably gonna be doing that this weekend after Speed Metal. So if you guys wanna follow along on that journey, make sure you subscribe because we have a lot of videos coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to check out the website, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going on.